Alright, so I'm working on this 2015 Chevy Silverado. I think it's got the 5.3 in it. What I'm doing here is changing the belt on the air compressor. And if you don't know, they use a stretch belt, which means there's no tensioner or anything like that or adjustment. It just stretches over the two pulleys. They sell special tools to do this. And my opinion of the special tools are, unless the ones I have are just no good, they don't work very well. So it's hit and miss with that. First thing, and this, I actually put a compressor on this a few weeks ago, and I should have changed the belt when I did it, but I didn't because we were already into this job pretty deep, and quite frankly, I already ordered the parts, forgot about getting the belt, and figured I would just reuse the belt. And I don't know, about a week later it kind of squeals a little bit when you take off. It's very, you have to really pay attention to hear it, but it does make a little noise when you take off. So we're just going to replace the belt today and be done with it. So that's the reason why we're just changing the belt and nothing else. First thing I have to do on these Chevys is get rid of this box here. On these, here you just push up on the bottom and it just pulls away. And I think it's the opposite on this side. Yeah, on this side it's the opposite. You push down and then it pulls away. And then you have two clamps. One going to your throttle body, one going to your air box. Just loosen those off, and then this thing should pull right out. We'll just kind of set this off to the side. And now you got real good access to your belt. We're going to take the serpentine belt off, and then we'll be down to where we're going to change. And I'll try to get you in there closer as we do it. Alright, so get the big serpentine belt out, the main serpentine belt that runs your alternator, and pretty much it, I think. Your power steering pump. It does have a regular tensioner, it's a 1/2 inch. So you're just going to pull that down towards the passenger side, and that'll loosen the belt. You can see there it's loosening the belt. So go ahead and pull that down and remove that, and then we're going to be down to this belt right here. And this is the belt that we're going to change. It's making a little bit of noise when he takes off, and this is a stretch belt, so there is no adjustment at all on this belt. There's no way to get it off. There's two ways to get, well, three ways to get it off, and we'll go over that in a second. So I'm going to remove this one real quick, and then we'll go over removing that. Alright, so there is a few ways to take these off. Obviously, if you're putting a new belt on, you can just cut it off. There's no reason to try to save it since you have a new belt. But if you're doing a job and the belt's still pretty relatively new and you want to save the belt, there's a few ways to do it. You can buy a special tool like this, and the idea behind this is this kind of goes, the belt kind of goes up under this, and then this kind of, you turn the crank pulley and this walks it off. The problem with these is a lot of times they get caught. You can't make a full rotation with it, or just in general things get in the way. I found I've gotten to the point where I don't even use them anymore. It's kind of pointless. I did have it work one time on a Mazda 6, but anyway, you can do that, or you can do, if you don't have any tools, you have a shop towel, or even like this. I'm going to use this. It's just a mechanic's glove, and what you do is you wrap the mechanic's glove around the belt, and you're going to pull the belt towards you as you turn the crankshaft. Now, on these Chevy LS's here, this is a 5.3, I think. It's 24 millimeter on the crank bolt, and all we're going to do is, hopefully I don't get, I got this camera kind of in a bad place, but it's the only place I can put it to where I can still show you. But and I just moved it. That's the problem with where this is at. It's very hard to get the camera down there and do what I need to do. So I'm just going to take, you can take a shop towel, strong one, or whatever you have laying around, some kind of material, pull the belt towards you, and pull, go ahead and turn the crankshaft as you do this, and it'll start to walk that belt off if everything goes right. Of course, kind Kind of a tight fit with this. Sorry about that, I'm outside today. Sorry about that, I'm outside today. Hopefully I can maybe edit some of that out. Anyway, once that material gets past the pulley there, you don't want to get your fingers in there. Now this one, I guess I didn't get it far enough over, so I'm going to have to do it again. And that's the problem with this. Actually, it is off a little, but we'll... Now I'm stuck the other way. So it is up off the lip a little bit. And you may have to do this a couple times before it comes off. That's just the nature of the beast if you're wanting to save this belt. Like I said, if you're changing the belt, just cut it off and be done with it. But there are times when maybe the belt's not that old and you're doing some kind of maintenance on it or whatever. So just do the same thing. Put it around the belt, grab it. And now you can see this time it's almost all the way off. It should come off this time. There it goes. There we go. So, as you can see, all this is just a regular glove, and like I said, it might take a couple passes, but now that's off. And no special tools or anything. So I'm going to show you how to put it on without any special tools. You will need a couple zip ties. Alright, now we are going to install it back without using any special tools. This is one of the things I do. This works really well with these Chevy trucks. It does work with other cars too, but every car is a little bit different how their belts go on. So this may not work on every car, but on the Chevy here, there's another stretch belt behind here that we're not changing today, but there's room behind this harmonic balancer. So what you're going to do is go behind the crank pulley here, the harmonic balancer, and go behind it, and you're going to put it on your air conditioning pulley the way it's supposed to go, and then you're going to pull this belt up and put it about right there. Now it's not going to go on all the way, obviously, because it's a stretch belt. So you got it on the pulley here, you got it on here, and now we're going to get a couple zip ties, and I'm going to show you what I'll do here. Sorry about that, dog. I'm working outside today, and it's like a circus up and down the street today. People driving their golf carts and mini bikes and stuff, which I'm fine with. It's cool, but my dog flips out about everything, so sorry about that. But anyway, I'm going to get some zip ties, and I'll show you what I'm going to do here. And hopefully this belt will go on with no special tools, and it's pretty easy. Alright, so all I got here is just some standard black long zip ties. You want them long enough so they can go through this pulley. Now this crank pulley has holes in it, so what you're going to do is run them back behind the holes. And just for now, we're not going to tighten them real tight. We're going to get everything set up before we... You might be able to get away with just one, but I usually use two. It takes quite a bit to stretch these on, these pulleys. They don't just fall on usually. Alright, so all I did was just go behind the back side of this pulley, over this belt, and what you want to get it as close to about 1 o'clock as you can get it. With the belt still being on here. So just double check, make sure it's still all the way around your air conditioning pulley right here. And you're going to be a little bit past 12 o'clock, as far as close to 1 o'clock as you can. Hold the belt down and just cinch this up. Take both your zip ties and tighten them down. So the top part of this belt is on the pulley through the zip ties, and then obviously it veers off and goes behind this crank pulley because it's not stretched on yet. Again, check this, double check, make sure it's good. And we're going to rotate the engine counterclockwise and try to walk this thing on. It should go on with these zip ties here. So we'll see. Usually I get lucky in the first try. Hopefully. Getting low on zip ties anyway. And you're just going to slowly turn the crank and keep an eye on your... Alright, now I'm going to have to back off because it came off a little bit on my air conditioning pulley. You want to keep an eye on that. You want to keep an eye on that as you're doing it. You don't want it coming off of your air conditioning pulley. So I just backed it off a little bit. And we're going to make another run at it. You may have to keep your finger and kind of guide it over the AC compressor while it's going on, but just don't get your finger in between there because that'll hurt bad. You get your finger caught between this belt and the pulley, you're going to be in some pain. And we're about 5 o'clock right now. Like I said, just go kind of slow. There we go. Now it did walk off a hair, so I'm going to turn it the other way, see if I can get it to walk back on. Just take your time with it, work it back and forth. You have to. Alright, now we're on all the way, so just bring it back up. And we'll take those zip ties off. So it's on now. And like I said, if you start to come off over here, just turn it back the other way and try to guide it back on with your hand. Just don't get your finger caught in between here and the pulley, or you're going to be in some pain. So it's on now. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these off, and then we're pretty much done. So that's one way to install your stretch belts on these GM, and a bunch of manufacturers are doing it now. I know Mazda does it and a few other. I think Ford's doing it. I don't particularly like it, but it is what it is. And once you do a few of them, they go pretty quick. It's just first couple are kind of a pain usually. So, and you can try those special tools. There's nothing wrong with, they're not that expensive, but I have not found any luck with them at all. I've only had a few of them. I just did a Mazda 6 or something like that a while back and actually worked on that. But anyway, this is how I do it without any tools at all. So, and you do have another belt back here, stretch belt, but we're not changing that. He's only having a problem with the AC belt, and that's all I've been tasked to do with this job. So that's what we're going to do. So once you get that on, you just put your serpentine belt back on and you're good to go. Put your box back on. So anyway, that's you know, just demonstration of how to get these belts on and off without any special tools. Taking them off, use a shop rag or a glove or something strong. Pull it towards you, turn the crankshaft, and then the opposite. When you put them back on, use a couple zip ties. Depending on the application, some of them you can just kind of get on by hand and guide. It just really depends on how the pulleys are set up in the application. But this is a 2015 Silverado AC compressor, and this is how I do these. So anyway, just thought I'd show that to you in case you're frustrated or having trouble with it. I probably should have changed it when I changed the compressor, but I didn't. So here I am on a Saturday going back over it. But luckily it's only a few minutes, and should be back on the road. So thanks for watching. As always, God bless, and we'll see you on the next one.